Good morning, everyone. My name is Rebecca Court, and I am a Senior Marketing Manager here at Incremental. Today, I am joined by Umar Bari from Microsoft and my colleague Moreno Vardanega. Today's webinar is What is Customer Insights? This is the newest product from Dynamics 365. So at this point, I'd like to hand over to our speakers to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Rebecca. My name is Moreno Vardanega. I'm an associate data scientist here in Incremental Group. And every day I'm dealing with the latest Azure stack for machine learning, artificial intelligence, in order to unlock value and insight from structured and unstructured data. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Umar Bari, and I'm a partner technical architect at Microsoft. So my primary focus is on building partner capability across the Dynamics 365 platform, and more specifically, customer insights. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out to attend the webinar. And I also want to thank Incremental Group as well for giving me the opportunity to present to you today. Incremental Group are one of our leading partners across Dynamics 365, the Power Platform, and Customer Insights. And hopefully I'll be able to showcase some of the extensive capability of Customer Insights and its integration capabilities across all the different solutions.
Thanks, Umar. So in terms of what we're going to cover in the next 40 minutes, Moreno is going to give us an overview of what the product really is and the benefits that it can bring to your organisation. Umar's then going to take us hands-on with the product and do a live demonstration. And then we'll summarise the webinar, and this will lead us into a Q&A opportunity. So again, just a reminder, please post those questions when you have them in the sidebar, and we'll do our best to get to them at the end. So at this point, I'd like to hand over to Moreno to kick us off.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. I would like to start this session in identifying some challenges that the organization are facing at the moment in unifying and understanding their customer data, and then find out how the latest product in the Dynamics 365 stack, Customer Insight, can actually addressing this challenge. So nowadays, business organizations are offering similar product and services at similar prices due to an high competition. So the real field where these business are differentiated themselves is the customer experience level. For customer experience, I intend the entire journey of the customer through the engagement process. So from marketing, sales, and services and support. Obviously, to provide a great customer experience is important personalize the product. What I mean is build the product around the need of a specific customer. In order to do that, it's important to understand and find insight from the customer data they're sharing with the organization in order to define a unique profile for each customer. Now, despite in this era, the era of big data, customer creating and sharing more data than ever with the organization are struggling to find insight and good value from this data for different reasons. Let's have a look briefly at the main challenges, data challenges that the organization are facing at the moment. So for a strictly quantity point of view, I would say that when an organization increase, also the number of the customer grow exponentially, and therefore also the data that they created, they generated, and they're sharing with the organization. So it's very important to have like the ability to scale promptly, both horizontally and vertically, in terms of infrastructure. Another, from another quantity point of view, we can say that the organization at the moment are storage this data, this immense data in different silos. So the data is always fragmented, both online and offline. So it's very difficult sometimes surface its benefit in a live stream. Another very sensitive topic at the moment is the security point of view, where it's difficult to maintain secure and guarantee 100% privacy of the data of the customer. And obviously it's very important topic, especially after the Data Protection Act in 2018, there was the implementation of the European GDPR. However, as a data scientist, I would say that maybe the most challenging part is the quality point of view, because the data is not just huge, it's also very, very various. The data can come from online, for example, website or mobile, or email campaign, can come offline, for example, from contact center or from a physical store. The data come in different format, from text, sounds, image, and then the data has different typology, for example, behavioral, transactional, and behavioral, transactional, and demographic. Therefore, for this, for all this reason, just recently in 2019, Microsoft has launched this new product, the Customer Insight, in order to help all the organization. They are in the middle of this transformational digital transformational journey, to help them to understand the data, and so to engage, to empower the process of engaging the customer. So let's have a look at how are the benefit of this, the capabilities and the benefit of this product. So in order to consolidate your data, you can see, in terms of consolidate your data, you can see that Customer Insight is able to pull the data from different channels, offline and online, integrate the data from different typology, demographic, behavioral, and transactional, and create a unique view, an holistic view of this data. And obviously this one bring immediately some benefit in terms of profit, because increase the revenue and decrease the cost. Being a data scientist, I deal every day with the entire process of ingesting, manipulating, and running artificial intelligence model on this data. And I need to say that the degree of beauty of this product is the fact that they make all this process very, very easy. Usually every day I facing a lots of data error, data duplication, and obviously there is also lots of time, effort, and cost. So let's have a look at the end-to-end process of Customer Insight. Let's have a look how, thanks to built-in tools, this process can really make easy for any customer without coding skills to get inside from a very, very difficult and unstructured data. So the first part obviously is the data ingestion, and you can see the Customer Insight can pull data from both external and internal sources, because has more than 40 built-in connectors, from the normal CSV to the blob storage to the file storage to external stack from Azure and Microsoft, like LinkedIn or Google or Facebook, and even Salesforce. Of my project time, all the time that I need to clean the data. Instead, this product, again, it make very, very fast. And the unification process is a process where basically we standardize the data, and we store the data in a nice structural format, following the three steps of map, match, and merge that Umar is gonna explain you later in detail during the demo. Once the data is standardized and we have a single source of truth, in this case, we can really run on top of it different machine learning tools and AI analytics capabilities that come from Azure Cognitive Services. Once we found the result of this insight, obviously we can take an action. We can use the Power Platform stacks, for example, Power Apps to create an application in the mobile to show the result of this insight, or we can visualize them directly with Power BI, or we can automate some process using some triggers to automate the flow thanks to Power Automate. Although, because this product can be used standalone, but also together embedded in the together with the existing D365 product, we can use this customer insight together with, for example, 365 marketing, F&O, sales, customer service, and so on. Okay, now let's have a look. Let's speak briefly about some real benefit, practical benefit that this product can give you to your business, and also then some practical case. Okay, once the the data has been structure has been used in order to unlock insight, we can take an action. And for example, we can predict the customer intent. I can make an example, for example, when you predict when a customer is going to leave. So in that case, you can be proactive and you can reduce your churn rate. Or when, for example, you can create some metrics KPI to understand better the behavior of the customer. Or again, thanks to the customer data platform, your data could be 100% could be, you have a guarantee of 100% that your data could be secure and the privacy of your customer could be respected. Or again, you can automate the process for a repetitive task, so you can basically reduce the manual intervention of the human being. Or you can empower and personalize in the entire channel of the engagement for the customer. These are some examples in the marketing, sales, and services process. Some real example, one could be like the ability of increase the conversion leads between prospects. So we can focus on the prospects that we think are more valuable. We can study a specific segment campaign and send, for example, mobile messaging to our customer. The same thing we can do to personalize content in the website. From a sales point of view, a sales agent can identify what is the best recommendation that can follow up a normal sales without recommend the usual product that the user already, for example, see online, but something that could be complementary. And for the service part, the support part, we can say that even the support agent that speak in front line on the phone and the customer contact center with the user is able to establish a better relationship to the user that can be feel more understood and valued. Okay, at this point, I would like to hand over to Umar, that he can give you an overview of the product functionalities through a live demo.
Thank you, Moreno, and thank you for running through the high-level overview of customer insights. Now, what I want to do is quickly just run through a demo of customer insights and run through a scenario for a fictitious organization within the retail industry. So the organization we're going to be run through is called Consoso Coffee. Consoso Coffee produce high quality coffee and coffee machines, and they retail through 3 different channels. They retail online, also through resellers, and they have a store located across the UK. What they want to do moving forward is start to build a more direct relationship with their customer and learn more around how consumers are actually using their products. Some of the challenges that they actually have, though, is that because their existing model, they don't have that direct relationship with that customer. And the primary reason for that is that their data resides in silos. And because their data is siloed, they're unable to provide that personalized customer experience because they don't have all the information at hand that they need to be able to provide that enhanced customer experience. So what are the objectives? They essentially want to start to build a more exceptional personalized customer experience through relevant communications, recommendations, and services. But more importantly, what they want to achieve is an increase in customer attraction and retention by making these customers of Consoso Coffee start to feel more valued. Now, I've already touched upon the existing data landscape being siloed. One of the things that has really caused Consoso Coffee challenges right now is that because their customer data resides in different systems, this is causing a disjointed experience to customers. Now, as a customer, you can imagine whether you're transacting online or in store, you want that consistent experience no matter what channel you are communicating through. Another challenge for Consoso is that they have gone through a series of acquisitions. And as you go through a series of acquisitions, not only do you inherit legacy systems, but you also inherit legacy systems across different platforms. So their data currently resides in different platforms on the cloud and also on premise. And on the right hand side, we've just got an example of some of the systems that they're currently using on a day-to-day basis with a customer record called Abby Moss. And as you can see with Abby Moss, they are using a different key unique identifier across all these different systems. And what they're unable to do right now is aggregate all that information together with regards to Abby Moss to then provide that enhanced experience. So based on all these challenges, what are Consoso Coffee planning to do? So they have launched a customer insights project. And there's a few things that they want to achieve with this project. The first thing is they want to be able to use customer insights to be able to ingest all of their customer related data from siloed sources. So like Moreno previously touched upon, use some of the pre-built connectors to be able to ingest that data and start that unification process. The next step is to then unify that customer data so that you have one unified Consoso customer profile. That would be a customer profile based on all the information we have had at hand across all the different data sources. Once we have customer profiles, we then want to be able to create measures against it. Measures are essentially metrics or KPIs that we identify against a customer to, for example, identify how valuable this customer is. This is an example within the coffee industry, but if I want to think of an example across various other industries, if we think about British Airways, they have a point system and they have a bronze, silver, and gold system as well. So those are the type of measures that they would use to be able to identify the value of their customer. Once we create the measures, then what we want to do is actually drive a specific retention campaign. This retention campaign is for customers who transact mainly online and have an average score over a certain limit. Based on the customers that we get provided, we then want to be able to drive some segmentation and a customer journey from the information we've received from D365 Customer Insights. What we then want to do is actually showcase some of the extensive capabilities of Customer Insights and show how it can be extended across the other Dynamics 365 stack. So what we will do is embed some of the information within Customer Insights into D365 for Customer Service to empower customer service agent representatives in having a 360-degree view of the customer and provide the appropriate service when possible. We are also going to showcase how we can extract some of the data within D365 Customer Insights into the Power Platform and solutions such as Power BI. And in this scenario, what we're going to do is actually create some Power BI reports, charts and graphs, and slice and dice the information based on the data received within customer insights to empower, for example, in this scenario, store managers so they can understand the health of their business. What we then finally want to do is empower the retail staff workers in Contoso Coffee. Those retail staff workers will have the ability to welcome the customer using a Power App, understand the demographic and behavioral and transactional data of that particular customer, but then more importantly, using some of our machine learning capabilities, make a recommendation on what product this particular customer should purchase next based on all the information we have at hand. So that's just an overview. Now, what I will do is go into my D365 Customer Insights and start the first step of ingesting data. So I've just opened up my Customer Insights screen, and the first thing to do is to be able to ingest data from all the different data sources that I have. So to do that, I will go on Data and Data Sources. As you can see, I've already ingested data from my e-commerce platform. I have a solution around my loyalty scheme, my point of sale system, which is around my transactions in store, website, and looking into all the transactions that have happened online. And I'm also a user of D365 customer service. So I've ingested all my customer data from these different systems. And I've done that using some of the rich pre-built connectors we have available within D365 Customer Insights. So we have approximately 35 to 40 connectors available so that you can connect your data no matter where it resides in. So for example, the data could be static. It could be data from, let's say, Excel or a text CSV. It could also be data that resides in Azure. So we've got pre-built connectors with Azure SQL Database, as well as Data Warehouse and Azure Blobs. One of the important things to also know is that although Customer Insights is a Dynamics product, this solution doesn't require the data to reside in other Dynamics solutions. And it is pretty much product agnostic. Therefore, we have actually got pre-built connectors available with other solutions such as Salesforce CRM and also Oracle as well. So if your customer data resides in other solutions such as Salesforce, SAP, or Oracle, we have connectors available because we do have the understanding that customer data will reside in solutions beyond the Microsoft technology stack. Once we've ingested the data, the next step is to unify it. Unifying that data goes through a process of map, match, and merge. This three-step process is essentially to be able to then have one unified profile as a result. The mapping step is essentially being able to map the fields within each individual data source to the common data model. The common data model is where we're essentially starting that unification process and identifying one common model to then move these fields across to so that we can proceed with the unification step. Once we map each of these different data sources to the common data model, and approximately it's important to call out that 85 to 90% of the mapping is done for you using cognitive intelligence capabilities of Customer Insights. The final 10% is for a user just to cross-check that the information has been mapped appropriately and as intended. But once the mapping is complete, the next step is to match the data. Matching the data is essentially matching the various different data sources that we've ingested with each other with one key unique identifier. So we can use an example here. I'm going to match the data that resides in my D365 customer service environment to the data that resides in my e-commerce. And what we're doing to match these two data sources and the customer information within these sources together is we're using email address as a key unique identifier. So what Customer Insights will do is read all the information across all these two different data sources and identify where there's a matching of email. What is also important to call out within Customer Insights is that it is configurable. And in this scenario, it has got the concept of fuzzy matching. Fuzzy matching is where you can identify the precision of matching that you would want conducted in order to start the unification process. So, and this could vary within different industries. So for example, if I'm working in financial services, my data might be extremely sensitive and therefore I might want to choose exact matching of data. Or for example, if I am just using my data to run a specific marketing campaign or customer journey, the data might not be as sensitive and I can actually choose high precision or medium precision based on my organization's needs. But once your data has been matched, then the final step is to merge the data. Merging the data is essentially a step of customer insights refreshing 4 times a day to be able to ensure that your data is as up to date as possible. Those 4 refreshes that happen can actually be identified by the user of customer insights. So for example, if I wanted my first refresh to happen Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning, then I can choose to do so based on some of the admin settings that we have available. But essentially, once we've gone through the merge refresh, then we have unified customer profiles. These are customer profiles that have been unified based on all the information we have across the various different data sources. So I've just selected one customer record, and just for consistency, I've chosen Abby Moss. As you can see, we have some basic information around Abby Moss, around her demographic, where she's from, where she lives. We also have a link to the IDs of the other systems where we've got the information from Abby Moss from. So as you can see, we've ingested data from the loyalty system, also D365 customer service and other various different sources. And we've got the identification, so we can always refer back to those data sources if the information with regards to Abby Moss needs to be updated. What we also get is a historic view of the transactions that Abby Moss has had with us. So using our point of sale system and our e-commerce platform, we get a view for when Abby Moss has transacted in store compared to online. Now that we have that one unified customer profile, the next step is to identify some measures or metrics or KPIs against customers to identify, for example, how valuable they may be or how important this customer is for us, or for example, how long this customer has been purchasing Contoso coffee products. One of those ways we can do that is by creating measures in customer insights. And I'll pick one, for example. I will choose the measure of lifetime spent. So lifetime spent will give me a view for each customer with regards to how much they've spent on Contoso coffee products. In order to do so, what you need to do is call out the 2 different source systems where the data resides. So I'm going to be calling upon the point of sale purchase system and also the e-commerce platform. And using a simple formula, my lifetime spend will accumulate based on all the total value of the purchases made in store and all the purchases that have been made online. And therefore, you can be able to define that measure and have a specific measure for each customer, identifying what their lifetime spend has been with Contoso coffee products. This is incredibly important when we want to maybe provide upsell or cross-sell opportunities, or maybe we want to drive specific offers based on high value customers. There's various different ways to create measures, and some examples are here, such as total club points as well. You can also create some calculations around average web purchase, because what we may want to do is define customers who purchase mainly online. And that seamlessly takes me into the final step within the customer insights portion of the demo, showcasing segments. So segments are essentially where you can identify the appropriate customers that apply to a specific segment that you've already defined. So this segment that I've got here is a segment which identifies those customers who transact mainly online, and we want to target them with a retention campaign. I can simply create a segment by calling upon the data that I want to look at. So I want to look at the data actually that resides in customer insights. And as long as the customer's average web purchase value is greater or equal to 139, please provide me with all the customers and contacts that fit this segment. And as you can see, over the 5,000 unified customer profiles I have, 2,000 of those customers actually fit this segment. What this does is able to make me segment more appropriately, more tactically, more accurately, so then I can drive some customer journeys or retention campaigns out of it. And what you can actually do as a next step is export and move the data that resides within customer insights into the other technology stack, solutions such as D365 for marketing, for example. I can do that by clicking on Admin, Export Destinations, Add Destination, and if I select Type, and I've got various different options and where I can export this data to, I can actually export the segments that I've created within D365 Customer Insights into my Dynamics 365 marketing environment. And once I sign in and synergize the two applications, what I will then get is in my D365 for marketing, the same two segments which I created within Customer Insights now in my marketing environment. And if I actually click on this particular segment, the one with 2,000 members and customers that fit this segment, those same lists of customers now appear as a list of members within my D365 for marketing environment. So I get a complete consolidated list of all the customers who fit that particular segment, who will be emailed if, for example, we're driving a specific customer journey. And you can do so by clicking on customer journeys. I've then just created just a fairly high level customer journey around the high value web contacts. And I've created a customer journey by inviting them through marketing email messages, driving triggers. But more importantly, the segment that I've emailed is the segment that was originally created within D365 customer service. So that's just one example of how we're empowering those business users, and in this scenario, the marketeers, to be able to segment and contact customers more appropriately and more accurately. The other thing which we identified that we want to do as part of the Consoso Coffee project was empower retail staff workers. And we can do that through the extensive capability of connectors. Connectors is essentially the ability to connect the data that resides within D365 Customer Insights into the Power Platform. And in this scenario, I can move across the data that resides within Customer Insights into this Canvas app. This Canvas app is essentially an app to be able to greet customers and make the appropriate recommendation to customers as soon as they walk into the store, essentially being able to empower those retail staff workers. I can click on Customer Journey, and as soon as the customer walks into the store, I can identify who they are. And in this scenario, Abby Moss has walked into the store. And as soon as they walk in, using this Power App, I get information around some demographical key identification that I have with regards to this customer. I also get a view for their historical transactions, whether that's in store or online. And I also am able to embed some of the measures that I created originally within D365 Customer Insights into my Power App. So I understand what the value of this customer is and how important they are for me. And that's important when identifying the value of the customer and the best way to provide that enhanced customer experience. What I also have the ability to do is, using machine learning, review all the historical transactions Abby Moss has had with Consoso Coffee and accumulate that to provide a personalized recommendation on what drink Abby Moss should have. So based on the information Customer Insights has provided me, I'm getting the information to inform me that Abby Moss should purchase a Consoso Coffee cold brew. So the retail staff workers are empowered to be able to provide that recommendation to Abby as soon as she walks in and provide that personalized experience based on the information we have of her. The final step I want to show you with regards to this Power Apps is a customer check-in. This is a button that's been created using Power Automate and a flow which will essentially inform the retail staff worker that to ensure that they've spoken about the subscription, also a Consoso club that they've spoken about to ensure that they have spoken about the appropriate things, and also to confirm that they've made that personalized recommendation of a Consoso Coffee cold brew based on all the machine learning models that we have available as a part of the functionality. What you can also do is detail the conversation that you had with Abby. And that might be because of various different conversations that have happened in store around favorite products, or based on the insights that were received around the club or the subscription model. Spoke to Abby on the 27th of Feb. Now, this check-in button is important because we've come across it so many times. We speak to a customer service agent representative on the phone, and they're not aware of any conversations we've had with that organization across the various different channels, whether it is in store or even whether that's on the phone to various different other departments within an organization. What this check-in button does is actually embeds the information that I've typed in my Power App into my D365 customer service environment. That is essentially empowering those customer service agent representatives to have a 360-degree view of that customer, but also get a timeline, being able to track the conversations that have happened, not just online or through transactional information, but also in store. So as you can see, I've been able to embed the timeline, KPIs, and demographical information that resides in customer insights into my D365 customer service environment for the same contact, Abby Moss. But more importantly, I'm also empowering these customer service agent representatives in understanding the conversations that have happened in store. So as you can see right there, Abby Moss checked into the Consorso shop and spoke, and the retail staff worker informed that they spoke around the subscription, the club, and made personalized recommendation. And again, that detail could be, as informative as possible, empowering those customer service agent representatives as a result to then provide the best service they can, having a holistic view of that customer. Now, the final step I want to quickly show you as a part of the demo was using some of the connectors I've previously touched upon. You're able to connect the data that resides within customer insights into solutions such as Power BI as well. So as you can see here, the store managers are empowered to be able to create charts, reports, graphs, and KPIs, understanding the health of their business by creating some simple Power BI reports using the data that resides within customer insights. So again, another way in which you can drive some further analytics using customer insights, but also enhancing some of its extensibility by using solutions such as Power BI. So that's all from me. That was just a quick high-level demo, and I'd like to hand it over back to Moreno to summarize. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Umar. So we'll just switch over the screens and back to Moreno.
Thanks, Rebecca, and thanks very much, Omar, for the very interesting and inspiring demo. So in summary, today in this session, we had a quick look at the capabilities and functionalities of the latest edition of the D365 stack, Customer Insight. And we discuss how these software services and this customer data platform can help to address current organization challenges in unifying and understanding data, and ultimately empowering their full customer engagement process via an holistic single point of view of their customer. If you then want a deeper dive into the product, I really recommend the workshop that we provide that is called Customer Insight in a Day, where actually in one full day, we go through all the different aspects, capabilities, and functionalities that we show today, really with the hands-on, so with the real practice. And basically, what you can do, you can customize even the product around your existing infrastructure. You can experience how to ingest and segment data. You can embed and see how this product can work together with the existing components of Dynamics 365, for example, Power Automated, Power BI, and also some infuse of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
So just once again, thank you very much to our two presenters. And if you'd like any more information, please feel free to get in touch with the Incremental team. And thank you to you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this webinar.